Improvement. Fix It Home Improvement. Homeowners should know and garden.
And this is where we share weekly here with my co-host Cindy. Today we're going to be talking about systems, and we'd like to liking and sharing the podcast. An interview with Andrew Armstrong. In ancient wind catchers, so these were to the house, and they would face wind, and so these vents were living space, and they had at the end of their house, and through the house, up and out, effect on people's skin. Here.
Okay.
Amazing.
Can you imagine how many bugs are in the...
That wouldn't shake anybody. From 1758, bench system of cooling by evaporative liquids, and so it's able to lower the temperature from height down to 7 degrees. In the 19th century, the mini-split systems, mini-split air conditioning unit, conditioning split system, this fan and ductwork through the systems are going to be ductless. An outdoor unit with your compressor unit with the evaporator.
It's called a split? Why is it called a mini split?
It's not as big as like a... Most of these indoor units are going to be mounted cool one room or one air conditioner.
Are they as big
but
as...
most of these, like if you had a wall, it's probably going to be about, it's going to probably be about of it. So it's a wall unit, like something going through your wall. Be as tall, but and it's going to get that sound because the noise and everything.
For my wall unit.
So these are usually energy efficient. You don't need, and with most manufacturers, run up to 4 indoor units.
It's not like...
Right, correct.
It's not port.
Right, so one outdoor combining your electric and your different individual and then you can hit, each one is going to be controlled, and you're saving a lot of energy.
Right.
To cool one room in your home, you can just use enough energy to...
So it's like lines or
refrigerant lines? Get a drain?
Are they just loose on the outside of the house? Wall? What's happening?
Right, so through the
How
wall.
small? That's not that small.
So you're going for refrigerant and your electric out, and it runs from the outside, or you're running it through, and that hole that you put in the wall unit, you're just putting it right.
Lines are
right. Yeah. So especially for a professional, just have air conditioning only systems are going to have a heat energy.
We're doing an episode about.
Right.
Do you? Liar.
So you can get additional energy efficient heating if you have a house with a mini split system with these about 60% less additional heating.
So you could add...
Doesn't matter what you're heating or cooling.
Because my parents have central air, Dad and my grandmother, so they never turn down. Mom is hot all the time.
Or add a mini split. And what's interesting for one room, so you can have a small indoor unit or uses multiple indoor units. If you're thinking about, hey, I want maybe down the road, their area or zone, on a workshop and then there later, or if I'm going to build it would be nice to have that flex. Most mini split systems will be the most common, and 42 inches wide, 6 to 10 inches deep mounted. So this is like a wall or just over the problem with this.
So why is it called floor?
Down low. It's not almost on the floor mounted. Careful not to block the airflow. We have ceiling cassettes. The grill itself drops ceilings. So your ceiling cassettes, usually where you've got to pump the condensate into, and push. You can, gravity mount. You can get, this is an indoor unit, and this is it, or a conditioned attic. Uses short ductwork to it. Grill is spelled G. Like if you have a screening or a mini split.
Okay.
I thought everything was just GRILL is just for cooking or to cook. They had the E for screening. I think I'm wall mounted mini split I saw. So it's called their art. So this has a frame art. So this you would mount the best position for work, and you put a piece of architecture on the wall. Like maybe. Systems, I would look at 140, especially if you're thinking about putting professional do it, and your 200 larger systems, programmable times and remote access on smart device, air down before coming home while you're away. The maintenance, some have multi-static filters, so if you have allergen, really improve the air quality. It has catechin filters.
Spell that?
So catechin, CHIN, bioflavonoid, that's kill microorganisms and odors. They have smokers in the house, odor. These can last, and you just wash them off to clean them. So you can get, so this uses nanotech, smallest particles in the air.
Yes.
Fujitsu, SU.
Duh.
So they use polyphenols from organisms, and these can last. Have an ion deodorant, fine particle ceramic particles that could cause odor. I would check 4 indoor units are common. Some can go up to 5. I want to add units in the future. Inverter and rotary compressor. Compressor is like a tradition. When it turns on, it uses enough power to do the job. Percent of the energy of a going to be saving money. And most of the inverters, so I would take a little older technology. Right. So the most energy efficient, actually give you a rebate for rebates are $1,000. SEER rating, it's S, and that's the seasonal energy. The higher the number, the more. Now the minimum. So the U.S. credits for upgrading your air have a 16 SEER or $1,500 on change over time. So I would check with the air conditioner dealer. You want to make sure your side, especially if you're installing this, your indoor unit is going to have a B match to the outdoor unit. Units, you need to match that unit.
Okay.
So a general rule, 1,000 BTUs will cool 50 to 250,000 BTUs, 100 square feet, and tools around 1,000 square. A pro and like a specified installer for that brand company, and they're going to make sure it's definitely going to protect your warranty. Hire somebody with a NATE ATE. It's the Northern Excellence certification. Very high level of training for it.
Okay.
So they actually make them certified. Or you can get CA. It's the Air of America or Refrigeration Services. And these accreditations are technically trained.
Right.
They should be using the manual edition.
Not just guessing.
So this is a program, whether the temperature, the size of your house, the shape, concerned about the orientation factor of the windows. And if you're putting one of the, how often do you use your range, and they're usually in the room, so feel for how many BB, because if you can't cool properly and it's going to a cool temperature,
right.
It can cool off humidity out of the air, so you get this. It's going to short cycle, which will unit. Companies, Mitsubishi, SUB, Frederick, so it's DRIC, LG, FUJIT, and we had an interview.
Good. How are you, Jay?
Good. That is how energy the mini split systems.
Some of the most efficient products home to heat and cool your home. SEER now, so we can be outside and bring it inside and make your inexpensive rate, and we're very efficient, JC. Traditional central air house, either on or out of cooling into rooms you don't live in. Americans live in some pretty big houses to spend our time and tour. The Fujitsu product, we have the ability you're in. We even go sensors in, so it brings that room down to temperature and back to that setback position you're not using.
Wow, very.
Yeah, and another way we see is any traditional, a lot of ductwork that's in the attic, there's always duct loss. And crews do a really good job trying insulation and putting leaking, but there's always a heating or cooling that leaks into that, and we don't have that problem in your space with wall mounted or even a very short amount of ductwork, so you have loss. So 3 or 4 really reduce your energy to ductless system. We're very proud of what we're doing. As always, is a case conditioning if it wasn't for comfort. We do that very well as a lot of new products that you need based on, and a good Fujitsu contractor, you design exactly what's right for you. For that sunroom that's just, or maybe it's your master, always has been toured stairs,
right.
And that's some very good spots of the system. Just takes it opposed to major with ductwork and full system. Put it outside, get that master bedroom very comfortable.
You could add to an existing.
Absolutely. And rather than doing that, completing all those dollars, just a problem. Or in the U.S. where there's no, and maybe you just want that one right and have never been able to temperature just right, solve those problems very easily.
What about location? Like
we are very up in Canada, and as I said before, cooling in the home already. Many nights, but boy, those 20 are sticky and uncomfortable, ability to sleep comfortably with it installed. So we get a lot of those. JC, as we're now going, so our efficient, our zoning, make it replace the heating system you have. Some of the old gas aren't quite as efficient, and our fuels into the air and getting more. We're supposed to go in with a heat efficient and cover the heating all northern temperatures that to be able to do. So now we have cooling for homes in the. So in fact, in Canada is in the fall. Heating focused marketing is really secondary up there.
Heating. This is something that, or the ceiling.
3 different options. There's about 5 different ways. The refrigerant lines described before, a 2 or 3 unit, and you can mount. The thing we're doing a lot with heating now is a unit that actually has across the floor. So something that keeps your feet warm. In the summertime, it actually switches. Cool air will drop over that cool the whole room. But we also can do ducted units to where you want it. If you don't want a wall room, we can just do a register. Include ceiling cassette into the ceiling and just out of a square. It's much easier. And suspended ceilings, but there's also many application type ceiling in a home. Just see it, and it starting heating in that space.
As far as money saving,
anytime you're getting sea levels and getting the of no duct loss, and where we see the biggest advantage, 30 and 40% when people go with these new systems. They're replacing old air conditioner when it was brand new or seasonal energy. If it gets dirty and wear out, you're lucky if you're getting a 6-hour efficiency rate. And then 5 or 30, 33. There's significant design properly, and hopefully it can save even more because.
That's great. As far as sound, read about my air conditioner, a weave unit, and then
It's a great question, JC, and it's the traditional hotel rooms. Anytime in hotels, there's the worst part of the through the wall unit or package terminal air conditioning sleeve type, like you talked about. A lot of airflow. There's cycles that are very create a pretty air conditioners use the same, but often are rattling in the so often it's not the fan, but it's just What we do a little bit different air conditioning system is the compressor and the condensing unit, sleeve type or in that box. Everything's right, all that noise right into as we put that louder noise out lines through or in the architecturally pleasing, able to get that noise outside. We designed them very effectively, very hard to hear running.
Really?
It's very quiet. So we're a range where they tried to record them recently, and the sound people testing couldn't actually do 2 stories down. There was traffic louder than our unit. We think that any of our units, but those wall units, the cassette units, all are going to get any annoying noise to go. There's some new tech in the ductless world that I want interesting, and it's a country. One is units with multiple. By that is 1 outdoor or 3 indoor units. The master and 2 stairs. We can do that all off of a little bit more flexibility system. You still have zoning flexibility, but we're seeing all systems. And the way that one set of lines to each, which is a good solution, it expanded on that too and called mini VRF. VRF is a technology for 25 years. Buildings where you have up to 64 indoor, a high-rise, and your cooling unit.
Sure.
We're residential now, and we can have up inside for 1 unit out. So if you think of your traditional, that whole house with 1 outdoor, the nice thing about this system is coming in. So you have, and it branches off units, and then we'll give you the amount of cooling or heating. Inverter technology in our company, we invert and then only give enough load of all those systems. Calling for 22 to 80 degrees outside, it's just going to deliver exactly what. A lot of flexibility, a lot of comfort, and we're using today in traditional. Putting it on and off and just blast one time and a way to live. So we think we're making some.
And then we can be control room with individual.
We do that in a couple of different ways. Traditional remote can set it on your nightstand so you can adjust it from right there. Wall-mounted stats that you can use central control. One place in the house or every zone in the house and set override so you in the house, even if you need it to be 32 degrees, and override that makes sure that.
Interesting. Well, if we wanted to learn more,
the best place that you can .com. That's Constant Comfort. Or if you want 888-8424. Again, 888.
All right. Well, I appreciate your time.
My pleasure, JC. Anytime.
Some great information.
I love his control. So sensible manner in your system. I thought that was good. Sue has a SEER, one of their units, and they control up to 9 in an outdoor unit.
Wow.
And that was pretty cool. It turns itself on. Mini split systems are nice conditioning plus the benefit system. You can either use air for heat, or just run the fan. Air quality, you get the energy much more quiet compared to all unit.
Let's
subscribe to our podcast on Apple, Spotify mobile app, the Google Heart Radio, and Cast.
give us a review.
You can check out our Fix It Home Improvement.
And you can
download our books, Home Every Homeowner Should Know.
Enjoyed it? Please leave us a 5-star.
Email us at fixit.com. You can also follow Fix It Podcast or co-host.
Thank you for listening.
Vous